Hello chess lovers, Soren here, and in this video I want to share with you an amazing game played by the reigning world chess champion Magnus Carlsen. His opponent is French chess grandmaster Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, and this game was played in 2017 in Leuven at Your Next Move tournament. The game was played in a Blitz time control, and Carlsen with white pieces opened up with c4 English opening. Yeah, despite the fact that the game was played in a Blitz time control, we're going to see a high level chess and you will enjoy this game greatly. G4, usually in here white is playing knight f3 or a3, stopping any bishop before jumps, but in the game we see this aggressive g4 move, which is not a novelty and earlier had been seen several times. But this can have a surprising effect on the opponent and can allow white to gain lead in time. In a game played between Rupert and Aronian in 2014, Aronian stopped the g-pawn with an immediate h6, but in this game we see bishop b4 move. g5, bishop takes c3, b takes c3, knight goes back on g8, and d4. White is sacrificing this g-pawn, but in return is gaining a precious time to push forward his d-pawn as far as possible. Another d-pawn which already reached the 6th rank is going to have a demoralizing effect on black's army. e4. Meanwhile we see another pawn sacrifice which is allowing white to gain lead in development, and now bishop d3 is the threat trapping black queen. We see queen f5, knight g5. The knight solidifies black's position very successfully, that's why white is getting rid of it as soon as possible. And meantime, all the time white is chasing black queen. Queen h6, queen f3, knight f6, and an interesting move by Carlsen. Can you guess his next move? Ready? In here Carlsen went for an exchange sacrifice on g7. Black recaptured, accepted the sacrifice, but this is not good. Stockfish suggests a tough defense starting with king f8. If rook g1, then knight takes e4, and then queen takes d6. Yes, once black is managing to remove the d-pawn, which is a very strong attacking piece, black is almost solving his problems. Still, of course, white has a preferable position, but black can fight back. Instead, we see queen takes g7, and knight takes f6 check, king d8, queen f5. Of course, castling queenside is not good. You should never allow black to activate his queen. In this case, black can force an exchange of queens. That's why we see queen f5 keeping black queen neutralized. And at the same time, white queen is keeping an eye on d7, not allowing black to develop this bishop, you know. Right now, of course, the direct threat is queen takes e5 followed by queen e7 checkmate. That's why black played rook e8 and Carlsen happily munched it. King takes e8, c5, strengthening the pawn on d6 further. And now white bishop can land, for example, on c4. b5, black somehow wants to complete the queenside development, at the same time is taking under control the c4 square. In case you are wondering why not b6, then let me tell you that in this case white can play bishop c4, and then white can castle queenside, and then white is switching the rook into the game, and black will find himself in deep trouble. That's why in the game we see b5, bishop d3, f6. Well, queen g1 may look tempting, but in this case white can happily sacrifice the rook on a1 and can announce a brutal checkmate. After bishop d3 we see f6 response by French grandmaster and king e2. This is the start of a brilliant idea which Magnus Carlsen is bringing into life. I would love to say a study-like idea, you know. This time we see rook h1. This is truly fantastic, right guys? Rook b8, king f1. Now, have you understood what's going on? By this beautiful maneuver, white manages to put his rook on g1. Yeah, once you play rook g1, black's position will just collapse, you know. In the game we see queen g6, queen f3, queen h6, and finally white rook is on g1. Black is like 2 pieces down, right? Bishop a6, queen g4, hitting on d7, and forcing black rook to guard that square. Not a pleasant thing, of course. Rooks are not for protecting pawns. Rook g3. Finally, white is switching his rook into the game from the third rank. e4. This is already a desperation. Queen takes e4. Rook e8, queen g4. Bishop c8, and now the bishop is going to guard the pawn on d7. King g2, queen g5, queen f3. At this point, white is avoiding the exchange of queens, but after queen d5, we see queen takes d5 check. Yeah, already black is forcing the exchange, right? By the way, at this point, if queen takes c5, then bishop takes h7. In the game, we see queen d5 and an exchange on d5 followed, after which the pawn on h7 dropped. Rook e5, f4. Rook e2 check, king f1, rook takes h2, bishop g8 check, and in return, white is winning black pawn on d5. Right now we have a direct mating threat, that's why black rook was forced to retreat, and white is now happily activating his king. The king is the strongest piece in the endgame, and white goes for it. Rook g7, bishop c8, c6. Yeah, black's position is hopeless, and victory is just a matter of time. At this point, we see a resignation because black is also going to lose these pawns, and there is no way out. A very, very impressive game by Magnus Carlsen. I would like to say a positional masterpiece. Especially, I really adore that idea of switching the rook into the game with king e2, rook h1, and then king f1. Yeah, this was brilliant, and hope that you enjoyed this game as well. Let's not forget, by the way, that this was a blitz game, but Carlsen played it without any flaws, and his talent just shined. In the end, a chess puzzle for you, where the task is to win with the black pieces. As usual, we'll wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in my next video. Take care.